Life doesn't always unfold as we hope. We pray, we wait, we dream, but sometimes nothing seems to change. In those moments, despair can creep in, whispering that we're alone, forgotten. But what if the struggles we face are part of a grander design? What if the disasters we curse are the very steps leading us to salvation? Let me share a story that will captivate you and remind you to hold fast to hope, no matter how dark the storm. Once, a mighty ship sailed across a vast ocean, only to be caught in a ferocious storm. The waves roared, the winds howled, and the vessel sank beneath the churning sea. Every soul on board perished, except for one man. By a miracle, he survived, washed ashore on a deserted island, unconscious but alive. When he awoke, he found himself utterly alone, surrounded by endless sand and sea. No voices, no signs of life, just the relentless crash of waves. Desperate, he gazed at the sky and prayed, "Oh Lord, please send help. Don't leave me here." But the day passed and no rescue came. Days turned into weeks, and his prayers grew faint. Hope began to slip away. Determined to survive, he refused to surrender. He gathered branches to build a small shelter, plucked coconuts from swaying palms, and taught himself to fish. After nearly 20 days of toil, he had crafted a modest hut, a fragile sanctuary against the elements. But one fateful day, while out gathering food, he returned to a heartbreaking sight. His hut was engulfed in flames, reduced to ashes before his eyes. He fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "God, why?" he cried, looking to the heavens. "I begged for your help, and you let my only shelter burn? Why have you forsaken me?" All night, he wrestled with his anger and doubt, eventually drifting into a fitful sleep on the cold sand. The next morning, a loud sound jolted him awake. Rubbing his eyes, he saw it, a massive ship anchored just off the shore. His heart leapt. Without hesitation, he scrambled aboard, greeted by the crew's warm smiles. Overwhelmed, he turned to the captain and asked, "How did you find me on this forgotten island?" The captain's answer was simple, yet stunning. "We saw a great fire rising from the island last night. We knew someone was here, so we came to rescue you." In that moment, the man froze. The fire, the one that had destroyed his hut, was the beacon that had saved him. What he had cursed as cruel fate was in truth part of a divine plan. Overcome with gratitude, he whispered a prayer of thanks, seeking forgiveness for his doubts. He realized that God's wisdom far surpassed his own, weaving a path to rescue when all seemed lost. In our lives, when plans crumble and hardships mount, it's easy to lose faith. We grow impatient, questioning why things go wrong. But this story reminds us that every challenge may hold a hidden purpose. God's plan is greater than our own, providing in ways we cannot predict. When one door closes, another opens, often in the most unexpected ways. So, hold fast to hope. Trust that every struggle is a step towards something better. If this tale touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Keep the faith, for even in the darkest moments, a greater plan is at work.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really plunging into an idea, something that I think profoundly challenges how we look at adversity.
Mm-hmm.
You know how light often doesn't unfold the way we hope.
Right.
We pour our hearts into things, make plans, dream about the future, but sometimes everything just seems to go sideways.
It really does.
And in those moments, it's easy for this sort of quiet despair to creep in, whispering that maybe we're alone or forgotten or just plain unlucky.
That feeling is so universal.
It really is, that sense that things just aren't working out. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that our mission for this deep dive is exploring this really powerful narrative. It's kind of a timeless parable, actually. You hear versions of it across different traditions.
Okay.
And this tale suggests that our struggles, the things that feel like total disasters at the time might actually be, essential steps. Or maybe even beacons guiding us somewhere better towards salvation or new chances.
Beacons, I like that.
It asks us to fundamentally rethink what hardship even means.
That frames it perfectly. And looking through that lens, the core theme from our source material today, it's this captivating tale. It takes on a whole new meaning, doesn't it?
Definitely.
It's a story that really sticks with you, reminding us to hold on to hope, no matter how dark things seem, and to consider that maybe our biggest challenges have some hidden, grander design behind them.
It's quite thought-provoking.
It really is.
Hmm.
So let's set the scene. Picture this.
Yeah.
A mighty ship, sailing on the open ocean. Everything seems fine.
Right.
But then the weather turns violently. We're talking a ferocious storm, huge waves, howling winds,
Yeah.
the whole terrifying picture.
It's just chaos.
It's absolute chaos.
Yeah.
And despite everything, the ship just can't take it. It sinks, goes down beneath the waves.
Oh, wow.
And here's the really stark part. Every single person on board dies.
Everyone.
Every single one, except for one man. By some miracle, he survives. He washes ashore, unconscious but alive on a deserted island.
Incredible. Just imagine surviving that ordeal.
Exactly. The terror, then finding yourself completely alone.
And that's where the story really picks up, in that aftermath. He wakes up not to rescue, but to just utter solitude.
Mm-hmm.
Endless sand, the huge ocean, and the only sound is the crash of waves. No voices, no signs of life, nothing.
Just emptiness.
Total emptiness. So naturally, he's desperate. He looks up, he prays, "Oh, Lord, please help me, send someone, don't leave me here."
You would, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. But the day goes by, no rescue, days turn into weeks. And with that ongoing isolation, that silence, his prayers start to feel fainter. Hope, the narrative says, begins to slip away.
Oh, that's tough.
Can you imagine feeling completely alone, forgotten, like your pleas are just echoing into nothing?
It's a chilling thought. Even if you haven't been shipwrecked, I think many of us have felt that kind of existential loneliness at some point.
Definitely. That despair is so real in this story.
It really is that moment where you feel like you've given everything and you're just forsaken. But here's the thing. Despite that despair, he doesn't just give up.
Right, he fights back.
He's determined to survive. So he starts doing practical things, gathering branches, finding the right ones
Yeah.
to build a small shelter.
Okay.
He figures out how to get coconuts, learns the island's rhythm, and slowly, painstakingly, teaches himself to fish. It's this amazing testament to the will to live.
Against all odds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the story says it took him nearly 20 days. 20 days of hard, grinding work just to build this little hut.
20 days.
A fragile sanctuary, sure,
Yeah.
but it was his, a symbol of his fight.
And this is where things take such a cruel turn, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
After all that work, that effort, one day he's out gathering food, maybe feeling a tiny bit of progress, maybe even a routine settling in.
Mhm.
He comes back, and his hut, his little sanctuary, it's engulfed in flames,
Oh.
just gone, reduced to ashes right before his eyes. All that work just vanished.
Oh, the devastation. You can just feel it. He falls to his knees, tears streaming, and he cries out, God,
Wow.
why? Why this? I asked for help, and you let my only shelter burn. Why have you forsaken me?
That raw anguish.
All night, he's wrestling with this intense anger, doubt. Those earlier prayers now just feel bitter. He ends up sleeping fitfully on the cold sand.
It's such a relatable moment, even though the circumstances are extreme. That feeling when your hard work is just wiped out, seemingly for no reason, makes you question everything.
It really does. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because the next morning, everything changes. He's jolted awake, not by waves this time, but by a loud, unfamiliar sound.
A different sound.
Yeah. He rubs his eyes, can hardly believe it, and there it is. A massive ship anchored right offshore.
Wow. Rescue.
His heart just leaps after all that despair, this incredible surge of hope.
And he must have moved fast, scrambling aboard, that rush of relief, seeing other people.
Oh, absolutely. The crew greets him warmly, smiles. Imagine that human connection after weeks alone.
Must have been overwhelming.
Totally. But amidst the joy, he has this burning question for the captain, right? How? How did you find me on this tiny, forgotten island?
Yeah, you'd have to know. How did this happen?
And the captain's answer, straight from the parable, is so simple, but completely stunning. He just said,
What does he say?
he says, "We saw a great fire rising from the island last night. We knew someone was here, so we came to rescue you."
Oh my goodness. The fire.
It's fire.
The very thing that destroyed his hut, that caused him such agony and anger.
That was the signal. That was the beacon that saved him. What he saw as the ultimate disaster was actually his deliverance.
Wow. That's the aha moment. A total flip.
Exactly. The whole narrative just pivots right there. It reveals this completely counterintuitive truth about what happened.
So what does this all mean? How do we connect that?
Well, for the man, the realization is instant and profound. That despair vanishes, replaced by this overwhelming gratitude.
I bet.
He whispers a prayer, asks for forgiveness for his doubts, his anger. He understands, as the story puts it, that divine wisdom far surpassed his own, that there was this path to rescue being woven even when everything seemed lost.
A complete shift in perspective, seeing the signal, not just the setback.
Precisely.
And this isn't just about him, right? This applies to us, to our lives.
Absolutely.
When our plans fall apart, when things get tough, when it feels like the universe is against us, it's just so natural to lose faith. Our brains are kind of wired to see the immediate problem, the pain right now, not some, long-term hidden design.
That's true. We get impatient. We ask, why me? Why is this going wrong? Why are my efforts wasted? We've all been there.
Totally. It's hard to step back and look for a message when you feel like you're standing in the smoke of your own burning hut.
Exactly. But the core message here from this story is that every challenge, no matter how awful it feels in the moment, might hold a hidden purpose.
Okay.
This isn't about being passive, just accepting bad things. It's about actively trying to reframe how we see it. It's a cognitive shift, really. It takes practice.
Like, how often do breakthroughs happen after failed experiments?
Yeah.
Or someone loses a job, which feels terrible.
Right, and then that leads them to a much better career path down the road. Or a tough breakup forces some really important self-discovery.
Yeah, things that felt like the end of the world at the time.
Exactly. The pain was real, absolutely. But looking back, you see it cleared the way for something new, something better, maybe.
So it's about not labeling things as failure or disaster too quickly, based only on the immediate feeling.
Because our perspective is limited in the moment. This parable asks us to consider that what looks like an ending might actually be the necessary start of something else.
It challenges our need for immediate answers and safety, urges us to take a longer view.
It really does. This connects to ideas like post-traumatic growth, people experiencing positive psychological change after going through really hard times.
Right, not denying the trauma, but finding meaning through it.
Exactly. The man's hut burning down, that was his trauma, but it forced him to send a signal he wouldn't have otherwise. Sometimes destruction actually creates visibility.
Like a forest fire, clearing the way for new growth.
Perfect analogy. What looks like a step back might actually be setting you up for a leap forward, maybe in a direction you didn't expect.
So perspective is key.
Yeah.
And it requires, well, a certain amount of trust, doesn't it?
Huge amount. Trust in the process. Trust that even if you can't see the path, there might be a reason for the detour.
Which is incredibly hard when you're right in the middle of the mess, feeling lost and angry. To stop and ask, okay, what if this isn't the end? What if this is a setup for something else?
What if this fire is actually creating the conditions for something I couldn't have reached otherwise?
That is a powerful reframe.
Yeah. The story suggests a greater plan might be unfolding, providing for us in ways we just can't predict. That old saying, when one door closes, another opens. It often opens in really unexpected, sometimes even uncomfortable ways. So, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you might consider how events in your own life, things that felt like total failures back then, actually set the stage for something new, something better, even if you couldn't see it for ages.
Looking back with that lens,
It encourages us to move beyond feeling like a victim of circumstances, towards resilience, from despair towards maybe discovery, looking for the signal in the smoke.
that's a great way to put it. Finding the signal in the smoke, it requires real mental discipline. So the core message, the big encouragement from this story is hold fast to hope.
Yes, but with this deeper understanding now, it's not just wishful thinking.
No, it's hope anchored in the possibility of this unseen, maybe bigger design.
Right, and to kind of synthesize it all, trust that every struggle, every setback, every fire, it could be a step towards something better. The answers, the solutions we're looking for, often show up disguised as the very problems that push us to our limits.
They aren't just obstacles.
They might be the actual tools of our deliverance.
Wow. So this leaves us, and you listening, with a really important question to think about. What fires in your own life, past or present, those moments of loss, destruction, despair, could any of them actually be beacons you just haven't recognized yet? Signals calling for rescue or guiding you somewhere new?
It's worth considering re-examining those moments with this different perspective.
Definitely something to mull over.
Take that thought with you. And, if this story resonated with you like it did with us, maybe share it with someone who could use that message right now.
Yeah, that idea of keeping the faith, actively looking for the purpose hidden in the struggle.
Because even when things feel incredibly dark, There might just be a greater plan unfolding, revealing itself right through the challenges that feel the most overwhelming.